Hello, welcome back to Heretic Tarot. My name is Liz and I'll be guiding you on this journey today. This is a reading for the 3-5 human design profile, the Martyr Heretic. If you don't know what your human design is, there is a link in the description for you to get your human design body graph. One of the bits of information specific to your design will be your profile. Even if you know nothing about human design, or if you're new to discovering it, if you are a pro, really these messages are just meant to be, an additional avenue, an additional channel of information for you. Because not every 3-5 is a Taurus or an Aquarius, right? So definitely recommend checking out your zodiac sign readings, but yeah. I also try not to use a ton of human design language because, the point of these isn't necessarily to be educational. And I don't want the message to get lost. So with that being said, I would love if you subscribed to the channel. And I am doing these spreads a little bit different. It's a 3-card spread, your current energy, what's leaving, what's coming in, and then we're going to clarify each one of those cards with another card. Okay. I'll just save that. So, current energy, we have the King of Cups. Love that. What's leaving is the 6 of Pentacles. What's coming in is the Magician. Beautiful. To clarify the King of Cups, we have the King of Swords. We have the 3 of Wands with the 6 of Materials, or the 6 of Pentacles. And then we have the Strength card with the Magician. Beautiful. What's this card? What do you think it is? Any guesses? Let's see. 8 of Materials. Putting in the work. I also, anytime that I have seen this card recently, or just kind of through these readings too, because it's popped up a couple times, it really just kind of gives me this feeling of, I just heard in my head, learning to work with your own energy. Because we can see, it almost kind of has a juggling vibe. But then also there's little dots coming off of their fingers down to the rose. So then that to me looks like a yo-yo. So it's but also just because their hands are all in different positions, it gives me the feeling of movement. Lots of stuff going on. I mean, truly too, and this might just be coming up because for me personally, I'm not a 3-5. I'm a 5-1. Actually, on the sidereal side of things, I'm a 3-5, but we won't get into that because whatever. So anyway, this might just be coming up because for me personally and my own existence, it is also coming up, but moving your body, literally just to get the energy moving. That's what it's been for me. It's literally that simple. Just to move things around, shake it up. The 8 of Materials also talks about practice making perfect, or recognizing the importance or the necessity to focus your time, your attention, your presence on something, to, repeat a motion in order to master a skill, muscle memory, that type of thing. So I don't know. It's interesting that this card kind of snuck out, but we'll leave it over here. We can still kind of see it, hopefully. But we start with the King of Cups, clarified by the King of Swords. And this is a current energy. It's like literally mind and body, mind and heart. There's, again, even some level of mastery with that, because when we get to the kings are the highest expression of the suit, right? It's the top level. So with the King of Cups, there's emotional maturity there's compassion, there's intuition, also empathy, all things you think of with heart chakra and love and nurturing. Kings also oversee a kingdom. So people could be looking to you for some sort of guidance. You could be receiving some sort of recognition. All of the kings in this deck too have this mirroring effect that goes on. And both of these, it's like their backs. To me, it just feels like tight knit. I don't know why. Like that's a thing that was like coming to mind. Keeping it tight. Also, you know, in this King of Cups, there's this person on this boat, and that gives me this feeling of moving through emotion. Literally, you know, that feeling of like, just keep swimming, just keep, you know, moving forward. The only way out is in. And then the King of Swords has to do with our mind. Like I said, it's our mindset, our belief systems. I also see the King of Wands, or excuse me, I also see the Swords. Like, where was I going? Where was I for a second? I also see Swords as being the suit of ego, because that's generally where we hear our ego is in our minds. And our ego is created by the stories that we attach to experiences, to feelings. It becomes the reason why we do things and don't do things. It's our personality, our temperament. So again, right, with it being a king, there's a level of mastery here. It's also too, like I keep getting this vibe about trusting what you know, trusting the facts, trusting your logic, because it's also intelligence, learning. There's big communication in both of these too, always. Like, how are you communicating your feelings? How are you communicating even, you know, what you are moving through with the King of Swords? How are you communicating your thoughts, your beliefs? There's even too this bridge here, which, you know, there's this one person walking on this bridge. Like, so both of these is just giving this journey. There's been an emotional journey, and maybe that's had an impact on your mental health also, and vice versa, right? Because I mean, truly, the way that you think about things, the way that you perceive your reality, the way that you perceive yourself has an impact on how you feel about all of those things too, right? So what's leaving is the Six of Pentacles and the Three of Wands. The Six of Pentacles has to do with our money, how we get it, how we save it, how we spend it. It's our time. How are we investing our time? Where are we spending our time? It's also our physical presence. Where are we physically showing up in our lives? Also our health. So when we get to the Six of Pentacles, there's a charity aspect to it. It's also receiving the energy that you have given out. So what you put out, you get back. It's also even too about like being in a position to where you can help others. So like volunteering because you have time, or like I said, charity. I don't usually talk about loans with it because there's no strings attached with the Six of Pentacles. I just heard in my head, actually there is. So, okay. Because even with a loan, right? I mean, you have to pay it back. Somebody is in a position to offer you something, but you have to pay it back. With volunteering, right? Like you have the time, you have the desire to volunteer your time to an organization, to a person, to a cause, and they are benefiting from that also. And it really feels is okay. So the Three of Wands is about trying things. Wands have to do with action. It's motivation behind the actions that we take, creativity, passion. How are we communicating those things? What actions are we taking towards those things? I also see wands as being information by way of experience, because that's what we get by trying things. We figure out what works, we figure out what doesn't work. What do we like? What don't we like? That's very also like third liney, right? Because that whole trial and error thing, making and breaking bonds. And so when we get to the Three of Wands, like that's when, even in this card, right, there's these dominoes here that are starting to fall. There's this doorway here also. So prior to the Three of Wands, these dominoes were set up. And now it's time to see how they fall, see if it works. Even getting to this doorway here, which is interesting too, because like I was saying with the King of Swords, about this feeling like a passageway. And the feeling that I was getting before I started talking about the Three of Wands, the feeling that I was getting about these two cards is that it's like you have a clear direction. Instead of maybe just dipping your toe in multiple different things to see how you feel about it, see, you know, like if you like the temperature of the water, if we're going to go with that analogy or metaphor, whatever it is. And this, again, this is a position of what is leaving. So it is having a direction. It's also even too about making a decision about the direction that you want to go in. If you know, again, even just to kind of use a different analogy for the same, you know, example type of thing. Like if you had a bunch of irons in a fire, instead of having to tend to all those different irons, you choose one and you focus your energy in that one thing and see how it goes. You know, if you don't like where it's going, if you don't like how it's working out, if it doesn't feel good, if you're not getting the energy back that you're putting into it in whatever capacity that is, whether it's, you know, in the form of energy where it's giving you life, or whether it's money or time, whatever it is for you, right? Then you can make the decision then to go on to the next thing. Even having this Eight of Pentacles out here too, because again, like with the Eight of Pentacles, it is focusing your time, your attention on something in order to master it. And as a manifesting generator myself, and you don't have to be a manifesting generator, of course. I think it would go for like any energy type. But as a manifesting generator, I do have a tendency to have a bunch of plates spinning at one time. And it's hard to focus your time and attention on one plate when a couple other plates are losing their momentum and they're about to fall, right? So then you have to shift your focus away from the plate that is in front of you and go spin the other ones. And that, right? Like, so not one plate is getting an ample amount of attention. So just to tie a bow for what is leaving, having your energy so spread out, choosing a direction to go in, choosing one thing to try. And again, if it doesn't go the way that you want it to, either tweak it or go on to the next thing. That right with the third line, life is always, you know, things are always bumping up against you. You try the shit. If it doesn't work, you pivot. Cat Williams has, in one of his stand-ups, I want to say it's Pimpin'. Is it that one? Anyway, but he's talking about trying things, and if it won't work, just tweaking it, or again, pivoting. Try this thing then. If it doesn't work, try this thing. If it doesn't work, try this thing, right? Like that's how you figure out the things that do work for you. And then over here for what's coming in, we have the Magician with the Strength card. Beautiful. The Magician is having everything you need in order to manifest the thing that you want. It's having the skills, it's having the time. Also too, I think like it's easy to get stuck in what we don't have enough of, or thinking that, the circumstances or the environment isn't perfect yet for what we want to do. So we don't, like just kind of waiting for the right time. And anytime the Magician card shows up, I always I always get this feeling of like there is no perfect time. The perfect time is now. I'm just going to be stuck on, is it analogies or metaphors? Oh, it pisses me off that I can't remember which one it is. But that saying, the best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The second best time to plant a tree is today. That's a magician. Like, you have exactly what you need right now, or you will, to get started, to do the thing, whatever you are choosing to focus your attention on. And it should be the thing that brings you the most excitement, no matter, this is where, your strategy and authority comes into play, because your strategy and authority is literally designed to help you enter into the correct experiences for you. If it makes you feel good, we don't make decisions from our head. We don't make decisions from our root. Those are pressure centers. So if we're feeling pressure, we let that sink down into our bodies and go through the filter of our strategy and authority. And I saw this video by Bashar, if you're familiar with Bashar, and he was talking about the key to life, or I think that was the key to life, is to follow the things that bring you excitement, to follow the things that you are excited about, which, interestingly enough, we have the King of Cups and the King of Swords here. Again, emotional body and mental body, like being in line, ready to go, like at your service type of thing. So it's following those things that bring you excitement until they don't. And no shit, the next thing that is going to light you up or make you feel excited to focus your energy in that direction will show up. So you continue to follow those things. We don't follow, logic, or, what other people expect us to do, or even what we expect ourselves to do, or, which I know is like so easy. It is so easy for me to say that. But it's also true. Magician card. Follow the things that light you up. Know that you have exactly what you need. And if it's not available to you right now, you don't need it. Whatever it is, when you do need it, it'll show up at exactly the right time for the exact purpose that you need it for, and for, the length of, or whatever that you need it. The Strength card, to me, it feels like the Strength card is here saying, like, this is going to take strength on your end, like, but it's not physical strength, it's mental and emotional, because it literally is trusting. This person isn't even looking forward. They're trusting this lion to take them wherever they're going. So there's a perseverance, there's a determination that goes into the Strength card, but especially in the capacity that we've been talking about, it really is like even just allowing your own behavior patterns, your own thought patterns to change. And that also takes discipline, trust, surrender, work. Even with the Eight of Materials out here, it's almost kind of like it just kind of feels like reconditioning a muscle, developing new muscle memory. If your initial thought is something, then it's, it's changing that and reconditioning it to a different mindset. I can do this. It is possible. I do trust. I do surrender. Right? I'm going to leave it there. I think this is effing beautiful. Thank you so much for allowing me to read your cards. I will talk to you soon. Bye.